than 1/3 of Hoosiers complete a college undergraduate degree on time. Education leaders say one of the main reasons why is that college students don't realize they need to take on an average 15 credit hours per semester to finish their degree in 4 years. So this week, Indiana's Commission for Higher Education kicked off a statewide campaign that encourages students to take at least 15 credit hours each semester. They say it will help students graduate more quickly, earn better grades, and save money. But as State Impact Indiana's Rachel Morello reports, some university representatives are concerned the campaign may not be sending the right message to students.
Sarah Carell is scheduled to graduate next year from Purdue with a dual major in agricultural economics and education.
You just have to make it a priority and work through it.
According to state figures, only 3 in 10 college students finish a degree in 4 years. That means 70% of students do not. The Commission for Higher Education wants to change that.
How many of you, by a show of hands, plan to graduate on time?
At IUPUI New Student Orientation, Commissioner Teresa Lubbers launched the 15 to Finish campaign, designed to help more Indiana students graduate on time by completing at least 15 credits each semester.
We can actually convey it, I think, in compelling terms from both a financial standpoint and a completion standpoint. You're more likely to graduate and you're not going to have as much debt. Those are pretty powerful messages for students and families.
Lubbers says at IUPUI, simply telling students they'd need that many credit hours to graduate on time led to double the number of students taking 15 credits in just one semester.
Sort of a aha to us when we talked to our student leaders around the state, and they were scratching their heads, confounded by the fact that if they took 12 credit hours that they were on the 5-year plan, because they didn't tend to be on the 5-year plan.
Although most everyone agrees on-time completion is a good thing, some have concerns that it's not taking into consideration why students choose to take fewer credit hours.
The issues that students confront is whether or not they can afford their education, and the monies that they get from aid, the monies maybe that they get from family, whatever they can earn on their own to make it possible for them to complete their degree.
Let's take Indiana University, for example. Each credit hour costs about $280 for in-state residents. So if a student increases her course load from 12 credit hours to 15 credits, she'll pay about $850 more per semester. But higher education officials say delaying those credits could cost a lot more in the long run.
These costs are going to affect us as we go throughout our lives, and whether or not we're completing on time really matters to us, especially right now.
On average, the annual bill for undergraduate students in Indiana is a little more than $7,000. If they stick around for a 5th year, the Commission for Higher Ed estimates it costs an extra $50,000. That's because after 8 semesters, students are no longer eligible for federal financial aid. Potential stresses on students' time could be another reason students don't take 15 credit hours.
So if you have a 15 credit load, you're in class 15 hours approximately per week, you should be spending about 30 hours per week outside of class preparing, studying. So it's about a 45-hour work week. So, I talk with students about it's like a full-time job. This is your job, and you need to balance all of that.
In addition to each credit hour's academic workload, many students take on a job to help offset some of their education costs. Gerton says an advisor's job is to take each student's individual circumstances into account when helping them plan out their degree.
What are they worried about, and what are the challenges that they're trying to manage? And so it's very personalized. It's about tailoring the plan. And I suppose if there's a concern, it's probably more that 15 to Finish is generic. I mean, it's a campaign, and so it is that issue of sometimes a student will need to take lower credits or will choose that, and sometimes for a good reason.
State officials have taken steps to try to alleviate some concerns, including the introduction of a number of tools to help students keep track of where they are in their degree progress.
There's now a 8-semester map that lays out exactly what the requirements are and the options for fulfilling that requirement for those semesters, and shows them essentially a template of how you might move through that particular major and degree.
If students follow their degree map and a required class is not available when they need it, state law requires the university provide them a free course.
We are changing mores. I mean, this is not always the way people thought about it. Some people think, you go to college and you wander. Well, a few people may have parents who pay for them to wander in college. That's not the reality for most of our students.
you've been hearing for a long time that 12 credits are enough, and it's not. And so I think that people really just, students, we appreciate the transparency, we appreciate the honesty, and it's really just good to hear that this is what we actually need.
In State Impact Indiana's Rachel Morello joins us now for more. Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
So what do these recommendations from the Commission really mean or change, if anything, in the curriculum?
So the recommendations don't exactly change anything, since they don't make the 15 credit hours per semester mandatory, and there's no penalty if a student doesn't sign up for at least 15 credit hours.
What does a course load look like now for a typical Indiana college student?
Sure. So the current federal financial aid programs define a full course load at 12 credits. And the Commission estimates that a majority of Indiana students are meeting that minimum, but they're not really going much higher than that. I think they found only a third of Indiana students take 15 or more credits per semester. And Commissioner Lubbers says upping that number will lead to more on-time graduations, better grades, and reduce the amount of money students will have to pay for their degree.
Where does Indiana lie in terms of the number of required credit hours that students must take? And is there any way that they would want to take a look at that again and adjust that, or is that just not a possibility?
So according to state law, the majority of bachelor's degree programs require 120 hours and associate's degrees 60. And unless accreditation or licensure requires more than that. The state already reduced those numbers about 2 years ago after they discovered that 90% of programs in Indiana actually exceeded the standard, which many refer to as credit creep. But officials say programs can't go further below those limits if they want to maintain academic rigor and quality.
Now, there's incentive for students to do this because then it's less debt, they get done on time, but is there any incentive for universities and colleges to really want to push the 15 credit hour?
Well, I think it's fair to say that universities have always wanted to see the students who come in as freshmen graduate from their school, but there are financial incentives as well for them to do well as far as graduation rates go. Indiana has a performance funding formula in place, which it established in 2011, and that ties the amount of state funding a university receives to metrics such as the number of students who graduate, the number of students who graduate on time, at-risk student populations, and other things like that.
It's hard to believe it's August already. School starts next
I know.
week. What's in the pipeline for State Impact Indiana?
We're taking a really good look right now at the pre-K pilot program that the state just announced the 5 counties for, so we'll be taking a look at some of the counties that they have selected.
Okay, and for more, people can go to stateimpactindiana.org.
Right.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Thanks.